So I have something really interesting to share with you, Victor. I was scrolling online the other day and I kept seeing all this stuff about the Japanese minimalist lifestyle. Do you know anything about that?
Do I know about it? Serena, I love this topic. It's way more than just, an empty room with one vase in it. It's a whole philosophy, and it's surprisingly profound.
Okay, see, that's what I was wondering. Because when I hear minimalism, I just picture like white walls and almost no furniture. It sounds a little cold, maybe.
Right. That's a common misconception. But the Japanese approach, when people talk about it that way, isn't about deprivation, not at all. It's about intentionality, making sure that what you keep, what you use, actually has a purpose and brings value to your life.
Brings you value. Okay, so it's not just about getting rid of stuff.
Exactly. It's less about what you throw away and more about what you choose to keep. There's a concept called Danshari. It's basically three parts. Dan, refusing what you don't need. Sha, letting go of what you already have. And Ri, detaching from the desire for more.
Danshari? Wow. That last part, detaching from desire, that sounds, hard. Like, how do you even do that?
Honestly, you don't do it perfectly, you practice it, and you start by noticing your impulses. Like when you see an ad and you suddenly feel, I need that. You pause and ask, do I need it, or do I just want the feeling of getting something new?
Oof, that hits, because sometimes I'm not even excited about the thing. I'm excited about clicking buy.
Exactly. The purchase is like a tiny dopamine button. And minimalism is basically saying, let's not let dopamine run your life.
Okay, I love that. Don't let dopamine run your life. But if you're not buying new things, doesn't life get boring?
That's the funny part. Most people think minimalism is less fun, but for a lot of people, it becomes more fun because you're not drowning in stuff. Your attention comes back to you, your hobbies, your friends, your ideas.
So the fun shifts from more things to more experiences?
Yes, and also more appreciation, which connects to another beautiful idea, Wabi-sabi.
Right, you mentioned that. Finding beauty in imperfection and impermanence.
Exactly. Wabi-sabi is about appreciating the real, imperfect life. So you don't need the newest, shiniest thing. You can love the well-worn book, the chipped mug, the sweater that's a little faded but makes you feel safe.
That's such a cozy vibe. Like, this mug has been with me through hard times.
Yes, it has emotional value, not just price value.
But let me ask, is that always healthy? Like, what if you keep something just because you feel guilty throwing it away?
Great point. Sentimental value and guilt are different. Wabi-sabi is about appreciation, not guilt. If an object is weighing you down, physically or emotionally, it might be time to let it go, even if it's old.
So it's like, keep the story, but don't keep the burden.
Exactly. You can take a photo of it or write a little note about it, and then let the object leave your space.
I like that idea because I have like a box of memories that I never open.
That is extremely normal.
Okay, so wabi-sabi. Can you give me another example? Something really visual.
For sure. Think about Kintsugi, the art of repairing broken pottery with gold. Instead of hiding the cracks, Kintsugi highlights them, celebrating the object's history and resilience. It teaches us that something can be more beautiful for having been broken.
That's such a powerful metaphor. It reminds me that our imperfections tell a story, and we shouldn't be ashamed of them.
Exactly. And it ties back to minimalism, appreciating what you have instead of constantly chasing something new and flawless, less perfect, more real.
Okay, I'm starting to see how this philosophy is bigger than decluttering. It's almost like a mindset for living.
That's exactly what it is.
So, does minimalism apply to relationships too, or is that a weird question?
Not weird at all. It applies in a gentle way. Quality over quantity. Instead of trying to maintain a huge circle of acquaintances, you invest in fewer, deeper relationships, and you show up more fully because you're less distracted.
That makes sense, but how do you declutter relationships without being mean?
Good question. It's not about cutting people off dramatically. It can be as simple as noticing which relationships energize you and which ones drain you. Then you adjust your time, you set boundaries, you stop saying yes out of guilt.
Saying no is hard though, especially when you're a people pleaser.
Totally. But boundaries are like emotional minimalism. You're protecting your time and attention, the most valuable resources you have.
Emotional minimalism. Wow, that sounds like a whole episode.
It really does.
Okay, so if I want to try this lifestyle, where do I even start? Because my closet is a disaster.
Don't start with the whole closet. That's the trap. Start really, really small. One drawer or one shelf. Just one tiny space.
One drawer. I think I could do one drawer.
Perfect. And when you do it, take everything out, hold each item, and genuinely ask, do I need this? Do I love this? Does it add value to my life? Not, will I need it someday maybe, but right now.
And what if I'm unsure? Like, I'm holding a shirt and thinking, maybe I'll wear this again.
Then you can use a simple rule. If you haven't worn it in a year, you probably don't need it, unless it's for a special situation. Or you can create a maybe box. Put uncertain items in a box, seal it, and write a date on it.
And if I don't open the box by that date, I donate it?
Exactly. It's like testing your real-life behavior instead of your imagination.
That's genius, because my imagination is very optimistic.
Most people's is.
Okay, and you mentioned one in, one out, right?
Yes. If you buy a new shirt, an old one has to go. It prevents that slow buildup of clutter. You become the gatekeeper of your own space.
I love gatekeeper. It makes me feel powerful.
You should. You're basically the bouncer at the door of your home. Sorry, random clutter, you're not on the list.
Your name is not written here.
Exactly.
But what about gifts? Like, someone gives me something and I don't like it. I feel bad.
This is huge. Here's a mindset shift. The gift has already done its job. The job is to express love or thoughtfulness or connection. You can appreciate the intention without keeping the object forever.
So you're allowed to receive it, feel thankful, and then let it go?
Yes, keeping it out of guilt doesn't honor the relationship. And if it stays in a closet unused, it's not really being loved anyway.
That's true. Okay, that makes me feel less guilty.
Good.
Now, digital stuff. My phone is just as cluttered as my closet. I have like 100 apps I never use.
Digital minimalism is real. Start with apps. Delete what you don't use. Then photos. Remove duplicates. Then notifications. This is the big one.
Notifications are the devil.
They're basically little attention thieves. Turn off everything that isn't essential and do something simple like no notifications for social media.
That sounds scary.
It's scary for about 2 days. Then it feels peaceful.
Okay, but how do you stay informed? Like news, messages?
You choose intentional check-in times. Maybe twice a day you check messages. And you can still keep important people on favorites so their messages come through.
That sounds like training your brain to stop panicking.
Exactly. Your brain learns, I don't need to respond to every ping to survive.
True.
Also, email subscriptions. Unsubscribe aggressively. Your inbox should not feel like a shopping mall.
My inbox is literally a shopping mall.
Then we have work to do.
Okay, and what about social media? Because that one feels emotional, like I don't want to unfollow people and seem rude.
You don't have to make it dramatic. You can mute people. Or you can unfollow accounts that make you feel bad. Minimalism is partly about protecting your mental environment.
Mental environment. I like that phrase.
Yeah, because the things you see every day shape your mood. If your feed is full of comparison and pressure, your mind becomes noisy.
That makes sense. Okay, so minimalism is basically reducing noise.
Exactly. Noise in your home, noise on your phone, and even noise in your mind. By simplifying your environment, you create more space, more or negative space for your mind to breathe.
Ma is like the space between things, right?
Yes. In Japanese aesthetics, ma is the meaningful empty space. It's not nothing, it's breathing room. Like silence in music, it makes the notes more powerful.
That's such a good example because if music is non-stop sound, it's just exhausting.
Exactly. And a life that's non-stop clutter, physical or mental, is exhausting too.
Okay, I'm curious. What's the biggest mistake people make when they try minimalism?
They try to do it all at once. They get inspired, they declutter for 10 hours, they throw away half their house, and then they burn out.
Or they regret it.
Yes, and regret is what makes people quit. Minimalism should feel like relief, not punishment.
So slow is better.
Slow is sustainable. One drawer today, one shelf tomorrow, and you build the habit.
What about money? People say minimalism saves money, but does it really?
Often, yes, because you become more intentional with spending. You stop buying random things that look good for 5 minutes. But it's not automatic. You still have to be mindful.
So minimalism doesn't magically make you rich. It just reduces dumb spending.
That's a very honest way to say it.
Okay, but what if someone is not naturally organized? Like me.
Minimalism is actually helpful for people who aren't naturally organized because fewer things means fewer decisions, fewer things to maintain, less cleaning, less sorting, less where did I put that?
That's true. I lose things in my own house. Like it's a jungle.
Exactly. Minimalism turns the jungle into a garden.
Cute. Okay, can we talk about a minimalist morning? Like, what would a minimalist morning look like?
Sure. A minimalist morning is simple and repeatable. You wake up, you don't immediately check your phone, you do 1 or 2 grounding habits like making tea, stretching, or journaling, and you start your day with clarity.
That sounds calm. My mornings are usually chaos.
Then try a tiny change. Don't touch your phone for the first 10 minutes.
10 minutes? That sounds possible.
And during those 10 minutes, do something physical. Wash your face, drink water, open a window, breathe. It sounds small, but it changes your nervous system.
Okay, I can do that. Maybe.
That's enough.
Another question. Minimalism sounds nice, but what about families? Kids? Doesn't everything become messy again?
Families can do minimalism too, just in a different way. It becomes about systems, like having a home for toys, rotating toys instead of keeping everything out, and teaching kids to choose their favorites.
Rotating toys? Like only some toys are available and you switch them later?
Exactly. Kids get bored because there's too much. When you rotate, the old toy feels new again.
That's smart. And it reduces mess.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm convinced. But I want a realistic plan. What's a simple 7-day minimalist challenge?
Perfect. Day 1, 1 drawer. Day 2, your wallet and bag. Remove receipts and random stuff. Day 3, your bathroom. Expired products. Day 4, your phone. Apps and notifications. Day 5, your kitchen, one shelf or one category. Day 6, your closet, just shirts. Day 7, your junk zone, that one corner where everything lands.
Junk zone. Everyone has one.
Everyone. It's like a portal. Things go in and never come out.
So true.
And the key is small wins. Minimalism is built on momentum.
Okay, last question. How do you know if minimalism is working? Like, what's the sign?
The sign is relief. You feel lighter. You feel less overwhelmed. You can find things easily. You spend less time managing your stuff and more time living.
I love that. More time living. That's the goal.
Exactly.
This makes so much sense. It's not about having an empty house. It's about having a fuller life, just with less stuff in the way.
You got it. Less stuff, more value. Less distraction, more focus. It's a powerful shift in mindset, and it can genuinely change how you experience your day-to-day life.
Awesome. Well, I think I'm going to go tackle that one drawer after this. This was, really enlightening, Victor. Thanks.
Anytime. And to everyone listening, thanks for tuning in to Serena English Podcast. We hope this conversation gave you something to think about.
Join us next time for another conversation. Bye for now.